Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we're doing another ban list prediction video for the BT19 meta that's upcoming in these next couple of weeks. And I want to stress this in case it happens again like it did last time. This is recorded, edited, and uploaded before the ban list is dropped in any regard, or I guess lack of ban list is dropped in the case of BT18 meta. But yeah, if this happens again 2 times in a row, I guess I'm just really good at predicting when the ban list drops. But this is we'll see. We'll make a reaction video too and everything else when that happens. But going into this one, it's gonna sound like I'm a green and yellow player because I am, but I don't think any of those cards need to be hit. I think it's strictly a case where just red has some really good cards right now, and blue as well. I think those are probably the majority of the meta in general, especially these 3 leaders. I think these 3 leaders are the strongest leaders right now, and I don't know if these need to be touched, especially since 2 of them just got dropped in last set. So I know they're a bit hesitant to affect any of those, but I think these are the strongest cards and just leaders and just colors in the game right now. So I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to talk about 4 red cards that I think are overtuned that might need to be touched, and then 4 blue cards that might be overtuned and need to be touched as well. So let's go and start with the 4 red cards I've put aside. Starting off, the card that I think is on everyone's mind, it is the 1-drop Broly Crown of Retribution. And it is, I think, very strong right now. It's been out for a long time and it hasn't really seen play, but just in the meta that we're in right now, I think it's very good. I also think there's another red card that has boosted its popularity that we might talk about in a little bit too. But just the fact that this just it's strong in a lot of ways. You're able to look at your opponent's hand is incredibly strong in this game for even just 1. Now you do have to make sure that they are, they have 2 energy open, but in this game right now, blue obviously has a lot of ways to do that, and I think sometimes yellow does if they have a lot of counterplay, and red is just such an aggressive color that sometimes you have to say, you know what, I can't play a lot on my own turn. I have to leave some energy open on the defense to prevent my opponent from doing stuff, and then they get a free punish off this Broly Crown, which feels really bad. So I know that it's getting reprinted. You guys know it's getting reprinted, so I'm not sure if it's going to get an errata or not either, or a ban. I'd be surprised on a ban on this card. I would say it's probably be an errata if anything, but some erratas that I could see is that in case if it's your leader card is red, maybe it's the red Saiyan. Obviously, that doesn't fix the problem for all the things, but also maybe if you played this card from your hand without a skill, or even if it just had like a permanent like it does for the Vegeta super combo, this card can't be played in any area by a skill. I think that would prevent it from being as oppressive as it has been right now. If you have to actually pay the 1 energy to play this guy to get the skill, I think it'd be less valuable. It'd still be valuable, but it would make it so you'd have to actually get a, commit something, right? Like not have a free answer to a lot of options too. And then also, I know a lot of people have been theory crafting or like doing like pixel detective work that maybe it's a 3 or more energy for the errata. I think in general, I think it's permanent that this card can't be played in any area by any skill, from an area by any skill. So that would fix it. So you would have to pay it for 1. But we'll see. I don't think this is inherently like it's a strong card. Don't get me wrong, and I think it's a good card in red because I think it overcorrects a lot of the ways that you can defend against like an aggressive deck. So I don't know. It's a lot of people are talking about it. We'll see what happens with it, but I would not be surprised if something happened to this Broly. Next up, we do have our next guy. It is the SS4 Gogeta Powers Connection. This is a unison that just dropped, but man, this is a incredibly strong unison. I don't know what they were thinking. Everything on this guy is just good. It's a 15k. When this card is played, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add up to 1 red card among them to your hand, then place the remaining at the bottom of your deck in any order. Better draw on a card. Cool. +2, play 1 red battle card with any cost of 1 or less, just one cost of 1 from your hand in rest mode. So you start with 4 markers, which means it's incredibly difficult to get rid of. And then -4 on an active battle, it becomes a 30k double strike, which is not too terribly hard to do either, because again, you are a +2 unison here. They're probably not going to hit this guy, but man, I don't know why this was printed. This is super good. If this was just like the top 3 cards for maybe just a red Saiyan, that would be better. Like at least be the archetype, but I guess they wanted this in both Sin Shenron and in GT, so that's what it does. Playing 1 red battle card with an A cost of 1 in your hand in rest mode works for both. I think it should be a +1. Honestly, I don't know why it's a +2. +1 just makes sense. You're free playing a card. Like it's great, and most of those cards just say draw 1, so it's good. And so this is like why Broly Crown is really good. I doubt they will hit this, unfortunately, but I think it's something that on my radar. It is just so good. I don't know why it was printed so good. It's very, very strong. So next one is like what would they change though to? Like what? Give it a +1 or make the auto like less restrictive, or even if the auto said like draw 1, it'd still be good. So maybe just a red Saiyan would be our red, like even red Saiyan or Shadow Dragon if you want it in. Like if it just said red Saiyan on the auto, you would never play this in Shenron ever again, and that would fix that. So but I don't think that's going to happen. But I think this would be +1. I don't know if it's +2. And I think like the thing is too, you can't even say play one battle card with an any cost of 1 from your hand in rest mode with its skills negated for the turn, because then it doesn't work like that either. Like it's still, I don't think that would do anything either. So especially with kind of how the archetype's supposed to work with this, it doesn't really make sense. So anyways, I don't know. I just want to talk about this guy. He's busted. Next up, we have Rush Attack Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. And I don't know. This just is just too good. It's probably the best Z battle card in the game right now. I don't think anyone will contest it. It is the most versatile, the most aggressive in Shenron. It is essentially a free, dual attacker in the sense that you are almost always going to have 4 or more Z energy, just with the balls being into Z energy too. So, but yeah, when this card attacks, you use up to 1 mono red battle card, 5k power from your drop pair in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. So just like the fact that this recoups its Z energy is great. I think this could be a 3 Z energy. Honestly, I think that would help it out a little bit, because it's just so like it builds 2 Z energy as long as you have 4 or more, right? And so it's just very strong in that regard. Active mode once per turn. Also, if you have 4 or more Z energy, switch to active mode and it gets plus 10k power, double strike and barrier for the turn. So it's just all kinds of good. I think it's a little bit overtuned for how its stats are. I think 2 costs is fine. Like even if this is a 3 cost for 2, that'd be good, or 2 costs for 3 Z energy. I think that would fix the numbers for it a little bit. But I think 2 for 2 is just too aggressively statted for how the card is. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they've ever made an errata where they've changed the cost of a card, and I understand why, because that's something that you can very easily, like that's very difficult to errata, right? Especially since it's like the 2 I think most important numbers for a card like this. So I don't know. I think maybe if they change the active main, or if you have 5 or more or 6 or more, maybe that would be an issue. But I don't think this is going to. It stinks because all 3 of these cards got released in the last set, right? And except for Broly, the next one, spoilers. Here it is. It's the Goku. All 3 of these last 2 cards just got released, and I don't think they're going to fix it. And it's the thing where these are the newest cards for a new block, and they're just great. And I don't know if they're going to get power crept. And if they get power crept, like that is going to be very hard to do, or very oppressive to do, because all these cards are already fantastic. And it just shows like Red got better Z battle cards than every other color in the game. Both of these are generic. SS4 Son Goku is supposed to be played in Pan, but it's generic with the first one, which is really all you care about. And they're just strong. It's just very, very strong cards. So I don't know if anything's going to happen to them. SS4 Son Goku, Defender of Life, like 2 for 3. The only thing I would say is that doing the one damage might be restricted to Pan, just because like this is the weakest one. All right, I won't lie about that either. But I wanted just to bring this card up just to show like, yeah, Red got bonkers amount of good Z battle cards, and every other color, like Green got literally nothing. Yellow got Oolong, unironically, and the Goku. Blue got the Cell, which is good for like a generic board clear in the Z deck. But Red just got, like here are my game plan. Like if I don't draw my outs, I secretly always have access to my outs, and that is very good in my mind. So I don't know. I think I'm in with a lot of people that I think Red is overstated, and I think it probably needs to be adjusted a little bit. I don't know what it is outright, but that's just my opinion going through this. I mean, and I'll say I've been playing since Shenron, and half the time it just feels like a free win. Like if I just open up all my stuff, it really rarely depends on what my opponent does, because I'm just getting so much advantage, so much aggression, and it's not very interactable. So, and same thing with GT with the right hands and everything else. So I don't know. That's my opinion there. And then let's go to some blue cards that I've had set aside. First card I want to talk about is the Heightened Evolution SS3 Sengoku Returns. This is super funny because if this ends up being the second reboot, or sorry, this is going to be the third reboot leader to get banned. We had the Gohan that got banned, we had the Mecha Frieza to get banned, and then maybe we'll get this SS3 Sengoku Returns banned. And it's so funny because like when these were released, all of them were released. People were like, "Oh, these are just worse copies. Like they're playable, but they're just worse off." And no, he's still good. Like just the fact that untapping 3 every turn is such a big effect on a leader like this. I don't think necessarily this guy needs to be banned, but I think it is just to show like how powerful that effect is. Like Gamma has the untapped 3. Essentially, it's incredibly restricted to an archetype, and it's still bonkers. Obviously, the archetype's good too, which does help, but I don't think they're going to hit this guy. I don't think they're going to ban him. They might because he's been around for a very long time and he's still topping. He obviously won both BT18 regionals in the States in the past couple weeks. So that's something that might attribute a ban for him. But I don't know. I'm not sure if they're going to hit this guy. But yeah, he was in the Infinite Unison. Like he was 2 sets ago. He was in the IU set. So being able to, you passed the Unison Warrior set and we're in the Zenkai set now. This guy's still being played as aggressively as he is. So I could see them maybe banning it. I don't know if they would. I feel they might not need to, but I would not be surprised if he did get banned, which it would just be very funny to me that, again, this is the third reboot leader to get banned. And that's very funny, especially since the original leader also got banned, which is really cool. So I don't know. We'll see, but that's just one card I want to talk about. Next, we're talking about Majin Buu, and I've had enough of this card in my mind. This is like the one card of this entire list that I would actually truly want to get banned in some way. If it could just be like, I think some people say, oh, if you ban this card, the Buu or what is it, the Bojack leader won't have a Unison. Yeah, well that's a price to pay. Honestly, like what you could do effect where like this, if it's a Bojack for the active main to restand, that's fine. Are on the -1 on the auto, but this just gets so much value. There's so many games where my opponent plays this on turn 4, and I realize at that moment I lose because they played this card, and it just stinks. It stinks that it's just how powerful it is. This card has been relevant for almost since release, so a year and a half, and it's just an auto include in every blue deck, and it's just it's funny to say it, but it's like an alternate win condition by just how much value you get off this one Unison. So especially in a game where we still don't have any Unison removal in any regard, like we were getting a little bit more with like Red has like some ways to give it minus power, and that removes a marker from it. But yeah, there's just not enough Unison hate for this card to just sit as a 4-drop 20k double strike blocker that restands every turn and draws you as a card. It just gains too much value for me. So like this immediately will get 2 draws and restand 2 energy because it's very rarely not going to die. It's very rarely going to die on the first turn it gets played. So I'm sick with it. I'd be very happy if this card left the meta. I don't know if it will. I don't know if Bandai will agree with that, but this is like the only card that I'm saying I want gone. I don't think it's healthy for the game anymore. But and I hope you guys know I very rarely have that opinion on any card, and this is the one in a while that I'm feeling that. So next card we're talking about is the SS4 Vegeta Rise of the Super Warrior, and when this drops on turn 6, it goes off. You draw 4 cards. 4 cards for 6 is pretty good, especially on a 30k blocker that restands at the end of the turn. And then like there's some ways to obviously cheese with the new secret rare, and that's cool. I don't want to hit cheese or anything like that people are enjoying with a new secret rare, right? But I don't know how I feel about this. I think honestly, if this was restricted to Vegeta GT leaders for the auto to draw, I think that'd be fine. Obviously, this card has been reprinted before, I believe. I'm 99% sure it's been reprinted, so I don't know if they would do that, but it's just such a good card in turn 6. Even if this is like draw 2 and put 2 cards into your energy, just based on how flexible it is, I think it's just so strong, and I think it's just too good for what it does, especially since it's a 5k combo, so it's never dead in hand. and you can just do some crazy stuff with it. I think this needs. I don't know if it needs to get banned. I don't think it might need to get limited, but I think it could be a situation where it gets just hard restricted to the Vegeta GT leader, which honestly is still a good leader. I don't think people are playing as much as anymore because SS3 Reboot Goku is just better right now. And I know there's some cheese with Beerus and also with the new Reboot Goku leader as well from the promo one. I'm calling it 7Ku, but I think he's too generic for blue for what he does, and more or less. So we'll see if that. I don't know. I'm not against the full hate wagon on this guy, but it's just something that I've seen that it's just gotten so much value for so many blue players, and it's overtuned a little bit. And then lastly, we have Senzu Bean. Put limit 1 on it. That's all I'm saying. Just put limit 1 on it. Just do it. Finally, it's been 5 years. Just print it with limit 1. There's been too many decks that just abuse being able to use 2 beans to get 2 extra energy for the turn and win the game because they're 4 turn energy turned into 6 energy, and you can't really do anything about that all the time. So I don't think it being used more, like using it once per turn is good. I think it helps you, and I hope it's on the defense side and on the offense side, and I think that would be a good fix for it. I don't know if they'll do it. I've been pretty much saying this every ban list since they made the limit 1 keyword, but we'll see if that happens. But that is going to be it for me. Again, if you guys have any of your own opinions on this, let me know in the comments. I'm not going to say that these are the only opinions. These are just my predictions for this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the ban list is. I do not envy Bandai on this one. I think it is going to be a lot of tricky choices on what is the choice and what they want to hit. And obviously we don't know all the cards from BT19 yet either, so that could be a factor, but it's going to be an interesting ban list, especially with it being the ban list that we're going to have for Nationals next 2 months in December. So anyways, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you all next time.